Glacier House. I went just to check it out. 19 extra larges, what a shame, no one came.
Okay, so today's workout is public holiday, so I'm going to take some time, do a long workout. I'm going to see how I'm feeling and maybe do an FTP test, which is a functional threshold power test. This is a key type of benchmark that I do throughout the year to gauge cycling fitness and performance. So for pretty much any triathlon from Olympic through to Ironman and Ultraman, increasing your functional threshold power is going to benefit you without question. So if you use a power meter, this is the sort of test that you should do on a regular basis. Now, functional threshold power is the basically the average power that you could hold if you rode for an hour all out. However, it's pretty impractical to do that in practice, right? So to go out and ride for an hour as hard as you can is pretty tough physically and mentally. So the general practice is to do a substitute for that, which is a 20-minute all-out time trial, and then you take 95% of that average power as your estimated threshold power, which is the power you could hold for an hour. So I usually need quite a bit of time to warm up. I'll probably go out and ride maybe an hour or two first, and then if I'm feeling good, I'm going to try and do that power test and see how I do. I'm also trying out that 1x setup, so that's the single chain ring on the front, and I'm going to see how that feels on the roads around Boulder. So most of the roads are flat and rolling, and that 56 tooth chain ring is going to make riding uphill a bit of a challenge, especially since I've still got the 1128 cassette on the back. So the 28 is the biggest cassette cog on the back, and that's still going to be pretty tough to ride even on the gentle uphills. So I'm going to try that out, see how that feels. I have the 1132 that I'm going to try out as well at some point, and then I've got a few other options in the bag to really experiment with. Today's ride is being fueled by Gatorade. I'm not a huge fan of Gatorade, but I've had this in my fridge for about 4 months. I bought it because I was doing a race that was serving Gatorade on course, and without question, I always train with whatever's going to be on course, even though I generally don't take anything on course when I'm racing. And the reason for that is, if something goes wrong, lose my nutrition, it can happen easily. You can lose a bottle very, very easily during a race. And at that point, you don't want to feel like that's a disaster. So you want to be able to know that whatever's being served on course is going to work for you. So I'm about to go on my ride. Just wanted to quickly run through my bike setup. So I have, at the front here, I have this computer mount made by Eldon Designs. So it's a nice carbon fiber mount that just fits between the extensions. Got my Garmin mounted there. X-Lab torpedo. It's actually nice and aerodynamic, fits a bit more than a regular water bottle as well. Got that between the bars. Then I got this Chrono CX bottle here, which in the wind tunnel actually tested faster than with no bottle at all. Here's my new 1x setup. So this is a single chain ring on the front, 56 tooth. Currently riding it with the 1128 at the back, which I think I'm going to race with something bigger than that, just based on how this trial and error goes. Got Power to Max power meter, and then these Speedplay Zero pedals, which I really like the Speedplay stuff. And this is, it's kind of nice and aerodynamic as well. You can lose a lot of aerodynamics on the shoes and pedals. So you'll see the other thing here is this chain I have. This is a chain from a company called Ice Friction. It's got a special lubricant on it, and that can save you a lot of watts as well. So just versus a normal chain, this could save up to 7 to 10 watts. And while that's not free speed, it's, you know, costs you like $100 or something, and that's going to save you a bunch of watts on race day. So all these kind of marginal gains all add up, and if they can all add up to 20 watts, that's quite a big difference when it comes to the time you can save over an Ironman. So that's my setup. I actually use, of course, the Zip wheels. I use them in training too, so I don't actually have training wheels, and it means I'm used to it as well. So you see a deep 808 on the front, and on a day like this, a little bit of wind, it actually means by the time race day comes, if there is wind, I'm used to it, and I'm used to how my bike's going to handle. And I really should take that race number off. So it is pretty windy out here. I think I'm still going to try the FTP test. I'm feeling pretty good. The only issue is, like, when the wind's really gusty like this, sometimes it's hard to keep sustained power. So primarily you're trying to survive and not crash, and then the secondary objective is obviously to keep sustained power. But we'll see how it goes. There's some fast sections. If it's not working out, I'll just can it, but it's good to get a bit of gusty wind practice. See how it goes. So this is a local stop on the bike route called Purple Door Market, and it's a pretty cool place. You can stop here, get sandwiches, ice creams, pretty much anything, like bars, gels, stuff like that, stuff to drink. So if you're ever in the area or riding around Boulder, definitely recommend stopping here. So I did do the FTP test, and like I expected, the wind was a bit insane, so I did do it. It was okay. There were a few times when I had to stop pedaling just to kind of put all my weight on the bars and stop being blown off the road. So I have to analyze it. I probably averaged over 300 watts for the 20 minutes, which is, it's okay for very early season, but I really want to get that up to averaging 330 to be in good Ironman shape. But it's not bad. 300 watts. It's okay, and it'll actually be a good benchmark because this is my first outdoor FTP test this year. I've done an indoor test, but you can't really compare indoor versus outdoor, or certainly I can't, because I get very different numbers just because the situation's different. In my case, I'm actually using a different power meter, and then the actual bike's different too. So I like to do an indoor FTP test and an outdoor one, and then that gives me a good overall picture of where my fitness is at. So I'm just hanging out at the lounge area at the Purple Door Market. And today's pizza day number 1. I haven't eaten yet, but I've just realized I need to probably think of some rules around what I can eat during this phase. Obviously pizza's in. Say drinks to go with the pizza should be wine, beer, something else, maybe Coca-Cola if it's lunchtime. and I was thinking tortillas. So tortillas are close enough to pizza. It gives me some breakfast options as well. Can do some good breakfast tortillas. I think that about covers it. Probably allow myself a bit of ice cream as well, since I have some left over. Don't want that to go to waste. But yeah, I think initially I'm going to get some pizza that is really known quantities that I know the nutritional value. I think one of the most difficult things about pizza is if you get it at a restaurant, it's really difficult to tell the amount of calories in the pizza. But I find if I eat pizza that's a known quantity for a few days, I then start to get a feel for the number of calories in different types of food. So probably start off for a few days like that, and then there are a few really good restaurants, pizza restaurants in Boulder, so definitely want to spend some time at Proto's Pizza. That's pretty close to us. There's one less than a mile from my house, and there's another one in North Boulder. And then there's a few good places downtown, so looking forward to checking those out. This is lunch. Pretty good. Looking forward to this. So what do you like about the Rocket Ship Playground?
I like about the Rocket Ship Playground, the Rocket Ship, and the climbing stuff, and the swings.
The swings?
And the slide, and the rockets.
The rockets.
They're over there.
Yeah.
And I like the grass to roll.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling.